Hey everybody, it's me, KD, back for another episode of Girl on Fire. Like I told you, I'm having these special episodes. And with me today, I have Lesfic author DJ Small. Say hello.
Hello. It's nice to be here.
So, so we've been talking back and forth online on Twitter for a minute. So,
hmm
and I just found you interesting, and I was just like, I need to have him on the show. I mean, it's something about, if the conversation just kind of flowed. So I was like,
Yeah.
he would be a good guest. He would be a good, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, well, I'm glad you think that because how interacting on Twitter and everything, it can get kind of awkward,
Yes.
and I'm naturally an awkward person, so yay.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny, I mean, because I know we say, you can be whoever you want online, you know,
Yeah.
and to be, I'm actually the same person online that I am in real life. So, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
exactly the person, opinionated, that can be loud,
hmm
funny, occasionally funny. My wife tells me I'm not funny at all, but
Oh,
I think I'm funny.
that's
So,
all that matters as long as you're
yes.
happy.
Yes, thank you, exactly. And people laugh at my jokes occasionally, so I consider myself funny.
But you're not
So
going out on the road with Dave Chappelle and all of them.
no, no, no. I
Uh,
don't even find him that funny anymore.
at least his new stuff I haven't seen because I've heard some things, so I'm like, you know what, I'm
Yes,
just not going to raise my pressure up trying to deal with this.
it is the last one he did. I couldn't. I watched it, but
hmm
it was painful. I was like, man, you really are homophobic there, transphobic, big
oh,
time. But
oh my.
and I was just like, wow. I was like, you're really running with this?
You- and you would think, considering the social climate we're in, he
Mm-hmm.
would he would read the room a little bit better and be like, but his fans, we all know who his fans are.
Yes.
So
Yes, and we know our community has a problem with the gay.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I understand some of, it's very, what's the word I'm trying to find? I think it's evolving because
Uh-huh.
my family, Southern Christian.
Oh
I grew up
my.
in, I know, right?
Uh-huh.
Black.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in the church. Well, I kind of grew up going to church because my
Me
grandma and
too.
all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you
Southern
know,
Baptist right here. Yeah.
yeah, Macedonia or whatever, something of that, Episcopalian maybe.
Uh-huh.
But you know, they've evolved. Like when I originally came out when I was 16, I'll say I was 16, found out I was, queer 13.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at 16 I came out and, my mom didn't talk about it. My cousin found it because I only found out because I was writing a story and I was staying with her for the summer and she read the
Uh-huh.
story.
I was like, whoa, what is this?
and, yeah, and she talked to, and it was like, and I couldn't deny it because it was a self-insert story. Like I was the main character in
Oh,
the story.
okay. Okay, there you go.
Uh, and she talked to me, but I feel like our community has evolved even so much from when I was 16 and, out. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's evolved. I mean, my one of my second cousins just got married, and her grandma, my aunt, is okay with her being married to another woman. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I feel our
Okay.
community has evolved.
I have
It's
to
not as
agree. Some of us
yeah.
have, thank goodness, thank
It,
goodness. I mean, I have to say, when I first came out, 20 years ago, maybe more than that now. I want to say I was 20. Yeah, I think I was 20. And I was in college and I came home um, for the holidays. I want to say it was Thanksgiving.
one
No,
of those
it was
major
spring
ones.
break. It was spring break.
Oh,
And yeah, I think so. And my girlfriend at the time, I was like, oh my God, I was like, I'm gonna tell my mom, and my sister, and everything. And all my college friends knew, and they were like, well, if you have any problems, we'll come get you. And you can just stay with us for the rest of the. And I was like, I'll let you know,
right.
I'll let you know. So it's when I got there, I told my sister first, and my sister was like, "Girl, bye." So I already knew that, and I was like, phew. She says, me and some other friend we grew up with, we used to talk about you and try to figure out if you were gay or not.
Uh,
And I was like, well, surprise, I am. And
surprise, not surprise.
yeah, yeah. And we talked about how my mom was gonna take it. And I told her a little later because she was like, she was listening. She wasn't really, she was eavesdropping on my phone calls to my girlfriend at the time.
Oh,
And she goes, so I remember one night I got off the phone and she was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, oh, okay. And
oh,
she was like, you're talking to this girl like you're talking to a man. And I was like, what do you mean? And she just kind of looked at me.
like don't play
And
me, don't play
yeah,
me.
like I'm your mom, I know something's going on.
Right.
So I told her, she was upset. She went through you're black and you're a woman, you have enough, and now you have
Mm-hmm.
your life is going to be so much harder. And then she had the religious stuff to say,
Oh.
and all
Mm-hmm.
that. But eventually, the woman I'm married to now was actually the first woman I took home to meet my family,
Oh,
and they accepted her with open arms,
wonderful.
and everything. I mean, so it was like, in fact, I used to call my mom to get, advice about women. So, if, I would call her and say, this is going on. And,
Right.
and so, yeah. So it panned out. She came to our wedding. My sister came to our wedding. My nieces,
Wonderful.
and everybody was here. So I mean, that was something. And
Yeah.
that was the last time I saw her. So
Mhm.
it was a good time.
It was
It
a,
was
it
a
was
good
a
time,
great
and I was lucky
time.
enough to get a great picture of her with
Yeah.
a mask on and everything. And so yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
she came through. I gotta say, she came through.
That's
So,
what's up.
yeah,
See, like
yeah.
when your parents evolve from being to
Mhm.
this like stage of being freaked out and like worried for your mortal soul, but going
Mhm.
realizing, hey, it's just love. That's like really
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
I'm like,
wonderful.
I still believe in God. I may not go to church. I pray every once in a while. When I want something, I'm not gonna lie.
and in dire straits.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Oh.
So, I'm there with it.
Hmm.
So, but it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
but okay. So you have a wussy sauce.
I have what's known as a sauce with flavor and, something that's not going to set my mouth on fire.
Yes, it's fruity. Didn't have pineapples or
It's got mango in it.
okay, okay. So see, I wanted to try that one too, because I
Mhm.
kind of like the fruity hot sauces with the pairing with the habaneros, because
Mhm.
habaneros have a naturally fruity taste to them, and they go
Mm.
really well with like strawberries and mangoes and pineapples and stuff like that.
Oh.
You find a lot of hot sauces that do pineapple and habanero. They all
Mhm.
taste different. Some of them are really good, and some of them are like, whew, you
Bad
know.
pairing. Don't do it again.
Yes, yes, yes. Like, ooh, it tastes like cough syrup. No, no. But I've had some really good ones, and I think I like Marie Sharp's hot sauce. They actually follow me on Twitter, so yeah, yeah. So when I put this up, I'm gonna have to make sure to tag them,
Uh-huh.
let them know that we're reviewing one of their, some of their hot sauces. So
Heck,
you
they might
have
convert
the,
me.
yeah, maybe we'll see. So you have the mango habanero
Yep.
sauce. I have the Belizean heat,
Ooh.
which looks kind of ominous. I mean, it has flames and everything. It
There's
says
a
the heat.
heart on there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It says the heat level is 4x. must be strong to handle this sauce. We'll see. It has extract in it, so
Oh,
yeah. So it could be really hot. Um, but I
let's keep it
tried the one
dicey.
just below this,
Uh
and it was hot, but it wasn't overwhelming. So we'll see. I look forward to it. So let's get to it here. I'm gonna shake some in my little shot glass right here.
Oh, a shot glass.
Somebody gave me this idea a while back, but I'm not gonna drink this. I'm gonna dab my finger inside this because if it's that hot, I'm not gonna be drinking that and end up with stomach cramps later. So, so it's a very thin sauce. It has seeds and all that stuff in it. So you can see like the spices. It looks like garlic and stuff like that.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah, mine's not coming out on my spoon, but it looks like I got some chunks of stuff in there. Couldn't tell you what it is.
hmm. Does this have tomato in it?
I don't know. Mine's got a nice color to it. It's nice.
It does. They have some good sauce. I like the lime flavor that's in it. It does have
Mm.
tomato in it. I thought I tasted tomato. What do you think?
Mm. Not too hot. Okay. Wait, I'm a liar. It's a little hot. It's a little
Mine
hot.
is
I'm not
mine's a
getting
little
that.
hot. It's not as hot as I thought it was gonna be. It's probably one of those ones that builds
Mm-hmm.
the more you eat it. It's got pretty
Yeah.
good flavor.
I mean, this one, it's almost, I feel like I taste a tomato in this.
For real?
Yeah, but it's not. It could be the garlic and onion.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. I
I was
taste the
expecting more
tomato.
of
This is
a,
the first thing you taste in this one is the tomato.
to- I was expecting a bit more of a, maybe I don't know what a mango tastes like. That's what my problem is.
A mango is like really, really sweet.
That's what I was expecting. I was expecting some sweet undertones, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
really that sweet. It's just, it's warm. It's
Mm-hmm.
warm. But I'd use this on like maybe some grilled chicken.
There you go. See, I would consider that like a breakfast hot sauce because
Mm,
I would put it like I have a hot sauce when I make. I like sometimes I like waffles and I'll cut up some apples or some kind of
mm,
fruit and I'll like saute it down and all that stuff and
yeah.
I'll use like a sweet hot sauce to give it a little bit of heat
Ooh,
and mess with that sweetness too.
ooh.
It's really good.
That sounds like it would be
It
delightful.
is. It is. I did it by accident. I was just like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. So whenever I make that dish, I have a Reaper hot sauce
Ooh,
that has fruit in it. It's really, really tasty. It's sweet. It has heat on the back end, so it's not overly hot. So, but
right.
it's really good. It's just, I was like, oh,
Hmm.
so I use that.
Sounds like
Okay,
something you
see?
might want to put in a margarita too.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Give it a kick.
So you still living. See, it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that
I
bad.
know I'm not running out, going down to the kitchen to get myself a gigantic glass of
Mm-hmm.
milk,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
praying on all 26 of the Greek gods.
Yes. Yes. So if you had to rate this one, what number would you give it for heat?
For heat, I'd give it for an expert hot sauce person,
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it a 2.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody like me who's not into the hotness, I'll give it a 3
Okay. Okay. What about
or
taste?
3.5.
Okay.
Taste, for the taste, I'll give it, it doesn't leave a bad taste.
Mm-hmm.
It was pleasant. Might have to eat more of it to get some more undertones. But like I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a
Okay.
4. 4
Okay.
on the taste.
I like I would give for mine the Belizean heat.
The
I would
Belizean
give
heat.
it probably a 7 for the heat.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was
Mm.
hot, but it wasn't like, oh my God, hot.
It
You
wasn't like
know.
you were tasting just the heat. You
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
missing
And it
flavor.
had flavor. It had flavor. It had a nice flavor. I'm not big on tomato hot sauces.
Hmm.
I just they have to be something really, but this one was pretty good, I have to say. I would give because it does have a tomatoey taste, but it has like citrus in it too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it kind of cuts it a little bit. So I would give this one probably a 7 for taste.
Oh,
Definitely. So,
nice.
so yeah, so Marie Sharp, there you go. You have some good hot sauce, but I'm sure you already know that. Yeah.
Sure your fans are telling you.
Yes. I'm sure my dog is up to something. What are you doing? Look. Oh, he has a toy. Never mind. He'll be fine. So, okay, so let's get right into it.
All
You've
right.
written four books, 5 books?
I've written 4 books. I'm
Uh-huh.
working on a 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on an episodic for my Patreon account,
Oh.
and then I've got like scores of fanfic out there. So yeah, I got stuff out there.
What? What fandom you right in?
I was my first fandom I ever wrote in was the Docubus fandom. Like,
Get
pri-
out.
come on. But like before that, I've got some. Oh wait, I've got some Buffy out there, but I've gotten some unpublished Willow and Tara, some Xena I've dabbled in. Yeah.
Look now. I've written all that too. I haven't done Docubus.
Oh,
That world was too complicated for me.
I mean, after a
Um,
while, you got used to it.
yeah, but see, you can write all that spec fix stuff. I'm not. My head doesn't work that way. I mean, I wrote one book that had a vampire in it. And that was like my first book I ever wrote, and I did the best I could. Bless my heart and all that stuff. But somehow it won a Goldie.
What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It didn't get the best reviews, but I guess whoever read it, felt like, oh, it is what
They
it
said,
is.
"This is fire. Let's give it a one. Let's give it an award."
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm pretty sure I probably got it because it had hot love scenes or something like that, in it.
Always a
So
plus. You can't
yes,
go
it
wrong with a good
it
sex scene.
is. Oh, you cannot. You cannot. So, but yeah, so have you written what's your fanfic name, if you don't mind me asking?
Fanfic writing sucks.
I'm trying to think. Have I read anybody think by you? Are you on AO3?
Yep. But mostly on AO3, I only do Swan Queen. A lot of my fanfic on there is Swan Queen from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, I know I've written in that
Oh,
fandom too.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
can't.
have a couple of stories in that fandom.
Oh, really?
Um,
Which ones?
um, I think one of them was called Black and one was called Gray
Mm.
or something like that. It may be three. I wrote them so long ago. Um, But yeah, so I dabbled in that too. But
Mm.
for the most part, I wrote Rizzles,
Yes.
so yeah, yeah,
See?
and yeah, so like everybody else did, So but yeah, I did
Yeah.
some Buffy, I did some Xena. I think Xena was my first dabble in fanfic.
See.
And then I did a couple of Buffy short
Hmm.
fics, and yeah, but I would
For
say the
Willow and
bulk of my
Tara.
stories. Yeah, well, of
Oh.
course.
Well, see, I also ship Buffy and Faith together. So
Who who doesn't? I ship Buffy and Willow too.
what?
Yes, there's some really good stories with Buffy and Willow. I'm not gonna
I got a
lie.
I got a friend who ships them, and I'm just like, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch the show.
They had a good, nice little chemistry. So, but yeah, Willow and Tara. Yeah.
Nice.
Willow and Tara.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a friend who likes to mock me about Willow and Tara because I told her like the last episode where Tara gets shot, it
Uh-huh.
doesn't exist. It never happened. Willow and Tara lived off in a happy life, had several kids. It was perfect. And then every now and then I'll get the gif of Willow cradling Tara's lifeless body in a text, and I'll just be like, "That's you can't do that to someone."
I know, and and that was when I think it was the first time the whole dead lesbian thing really
Yeah.
hit me. I mean, because
Hmm.
you know that's a big writing thing tool. You know, some of these writers
Yeah.
and producers used. I mean, they did it in the 100. You
Hmm.
know, and
Yep.
hopefully, I think they've learned their lesson. You know,
Mm.
with this stuff,
Mm.
I'm hoping, but you know, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I think a lot of it is starting to turn that way, but at the same time, you don't know how much of it is because of the outrage and just
Uh-huh.
waiting for it to die down and
Uh-huh.
then back into your old habits again.
I hope not. I really hope not. I mean, I don't watch. I mean, there's not a lot of queerness in TV to begin with. I mean,
Hmm.
you know, like at all, you know, and so unfortunately, when we get it, we just kind of,
We hoard it. My
yes,
precious, my
even if it's
precious.
bad, even if it's
Egg.
horrible, and
Yeah.
like the worst acting, you know, whatever, we
Yep.
just kind of like, you know,
We just we covet it.
yes, I used to watch Winona Earp.
Couldn't get into that.
I like the I like the first season, couple of
Hmm.
seasons, and this season
Just not a fan.
I'm done. I was just like I'm not even interested, and everybody was like, but Officer Hot, and you know, and I was like,
Yeah. I couldn't connect with their ship. I wanted to so bad because Emily Andras is behind it and everything, and I was just
yeah.
like I wanted to, but I just couldn't.
I
It
did
just
at first. I did at first
you fell into the
because
trap.
I felt it at first. Because like when she first came into that bar and they locked eyes,
Yeah.
I was like, uh oh. I was like, she's gonna do something with this. Just watch, she's gonna do something with this. And sure enough, you know, and I was just like, oh, so you know. But now I was just like, you know, and I even posted it on the Twitter. I was like, I'm kind of done with Winona Earp.
Mm.
I don't care about the characters. It just like I don't know. Maybe because it was off, you know, off the air too long. Maybe that's it.
It's possible. I
And I
mean,
don't read
you
any fanfic because the hot what is her name?
Nicole
Yeah, no, the other one. What is the Winona's?
Waverly.
Yeah. I couldn't
Waverly.
remember her name there.
I don't watch the show, but I know the
Look,
characters.
I couldn't remember, but I tried to read some of the fanfic, and it's so sweet it hurts my teeth.
Oh.
So I was just like, can't do that. I can't do that.
Need some drama.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, but yeah. See, we got way off the
We
tangent. We
we
ended up
we
talking about
we went
fanfic.
all. I'm ready, I'm ready to talk all sorts of things fandom.
Yes, it is a rabbit hole. You can just go that round and around and
Yep.
down into.
And then next
Oh,
thing you know, you've talked about things you didn't like and what should have happened and
mm-hmm,
all of that. Oh,
yeah,
that's how it gets you.
yeah. So let's talk about your novels. Let's talk about
Okay,
your novels.
let's talk about
Yes, you've
them.
written some, like I was telling you online, I said you've written some spec fic, meaning you have some kind of magical element or some kind of fantasy creature or, you know, something in there. You know, I
Hmm.
always say I admire somebody that's able to do that because it takes a lot of imagination to
Hmm.
just pull that out of the hat and be able to build a world, you know, with things like that in it and make it interesting and not outlandish.
Hmm.
So, and all your books have good reviews. So,
And I think everyone who has left me a good review.
I know, right?
because because my werewolf series, Avery Lost and the Last Pureblood, which you're talking about,
Uh huh.
it it started when I came up with that. I came up with it in like 2012, 2013,
Uh huh.
and I never did much with it.
Uh
So, but when I actually sat down, worked on it, got something to come of it, and now I'm working on the second book, and I'm just like, oh crap, I got to do more things now.
huh.
So, I mean, it's as you said, it's an undertaking with that type of
Yes.
fiction, because you're building the world. I mean, hold on, let me show you. I've got like this whiteboard type thing.
Oh, you do
Oh
that
wait,
too?
well, like, and it's all just like the magic and
Oh my God.
whatnot. Yeah. So
Wow.
so
I was talking to Ray Magden a few
uh-huh.
weeks back. She does the same thing. She like, she was like, first I figure out, she's creating gods and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God. Yes,
I
Bubba.
know.
So, okay. So, but
Trying to
yeah,
talk to
I
you.
was like, oh my God, I could never do something like that. I was just like, my head just, I would love to be able to be that creative, but,
I
eh,
mean, it all it comes down to is just making sure you keep your thread straight
mhm,
and find something, because I'm creating my magic. I'm not trying the magic in Avery Lawson. I'm trying to create something new, but not go too far off script where it's like completely outlandish.
mhm,
So it's a delicate balancing act, really. But I mean, if you throw in a little magic here and there in a story, it'll be fine. Nobody will think nothing of it as long as it's part
uh-huh,
of the story.
uh-huh,
But I mean, writing, oddly enough, wanting to write that type of fiction, it stemmed from Twilight,
huh.
because Twilight is so terrible.
It is. But look, DJ, I got to tell you, I've seen all the movies.
Oh my god.
I've read all of the books.
Oh no.
I don't know why I did that.
Oh my god.
I really don't, because I agree it was
It
horrible.
was really
It was horrible.
terrible.
And it was just like, I was like, why do they have this girl just being like this weak?
Right?
Can't do
Like
without
you
this man. I mean, I was just
yes.
like, huh.
And maybe it's because of who I am as a person. Like, I like my women strong and independent and ready to kick my
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. And she tried to do that in the last book, but
Yeah. It by then it was too much. And I didn't willingly go to see Twilight,
uh-huh.
or I didn't attempt to read the books. My ex-girlfriend, though, she
Uh-huh.
tried. She tried, and I looked at her and said, "No, this ain't happening."
What about 50 Shades?
Oh my god. So when 50 Shades came out, I'm so glad you brought this up. So when 50 Shades came out, I couldn't understand the hype, because I'm
Uh-huh.
like, it's Twilight smut fan fiction
Yes.
that just blew up. So I'm
Yes.
like, fan fiction's blowing up. I have to see what this person has done in order to see what I can do to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I made the mistake of buying it as an audiobook. And I barely got 10 minutes into it. The narrator's voice was just I so I hate to be
And
this
just
guy.
the sentence structure is
Yeah,
rudimentary. I mean, it's so simplistic and it doesn't change. There's no,
right.
and it's just like my wife, I think I want to say she read the first book. I don't know if she read the second one, but but uh but I was just like, how are you doing that? And then I
Mhm.
remember we watched the movie and
Oh gosh.
I laughed and
Oh
because
my gosh.
because I was like that white dude. I was like, why is he all serious and this?
And
What's the name over here laughing and playing it like it's a
uh-huh.
comedy?
Oh
And
my gosh.
but I was just
And
like,
poor
and then,
Jamie Dornan, he got roped
yeah,
into that, and he's such a good actor.
he is. He did so well in The Fall. I feel so
Yeah,
sorry
oh, I
for
love The
him.
Fall. Oh, that's a
Oh,
good show.
he can
But
play batshit crazy really well. So,
uh-huh.
mhm. I didn't like him. I forgot he was in uh Once Upon a Time. I forgot he was in that show.
I'm I mean, it was really not that big of a part.
Yeah, he was only on in for a handful of episodes. I do believe.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And then Regina killed him.
And then he died.
So then he died. Yeah.
And then he died.
So yeah. So I
Mm.
like I admire anybody that can do that and go from like spec fic to, like you said, dark romance, or I mean,
I
it's
love, oh my gosh, dark romance.
what
I
do you
think I'm
mean
gonna,
by dark romance? Explain that.
so I actually learned this term, like, I want to say less than 9 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so dark romance are more like your, from what I read on the website or the blog, is that it's the bad boy type of romance with the dark past and the dark
Oh.
anything.
Uh-huh.
Well, more so in my case, it's the bad girl with the dark past and,
Uh-huh. Oh,
kind of
I like
a
that. Okay.
renegade heart type of thing. And
Uh-huh.
I love writing those type of characters,
Uh-huh.
those morally ambiguous characters,
Uh-huh.
because not everyone can be good. Not everyone
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
not
you.
everyone has a heart of gold. Every There's an asshole lurking right around the corner who really doesn't care.
Look, if I
But
was
that
with you right
asshole
now,
does.
I would be high-fiving you. Seriously. I agree totally with you on that. I got so much flack for, like, in my first couple of books. One of my characters was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
She was an asshole. She had a potty mouth. She was unapologetic.
Right.
She didn't at the end of the second book, she didn't not become an asshole. She was still an asshole. Her edges
Exactly
were her edges were a little softer, but she was
right.
still an asshole. I mean, so, and I don't everybody can't be nice.
No,
They just can't be nice.
and like, people go through things. People have experiences in life that
Mm-hmm.
change their perspective. Maybe person A was a nice person at one point, but something
Mm-hmm.
happened and now they're a big asshole. That
Yes.
asshole deserves love.
Yes, exactly, exactly. But that asshole deserves love. That person who loves them has to love them for being an asshole.
Exactly.
Yes, I mean,
So,
so.
yeah. But that is exactly one of my favorite type of stories to write, just because I can't say I'm gonna be outlandish with it, but
Uh-huh.
I can do some things that I don't I can't do in real life.
Uh-huh.
Explore some themes, test them out, see if I like it or not.
That was my wife dealing with the dog. Everybody. Um, but yeah, I didn't know that. So I like the idea of that.
Mm-hmm.
I really
Yeah,
do.
and I wish Lesfic had more dark romance involved. I mean, one of my favorite series is the Kane Casey series
Mm-hmm.
by Ali Valley, because Kane Casey isn't like your other Lesfic main character. She's a mobster.
Really?
She's a mobster. Yes, she's a mobster who has this big like liquor importing thing, but they don't get taxed. And she works with other mobsters, and it like she knows she's not a good. Well, for the most part, she's a good person,
Mm-hmm.
but she's
She's
morally
into some bad
ambiguous.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, her father was killed, but still, that at the same time, she's a morally ambiguous character.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, that sounds like something I may want to read.
What's the first book called? Hold on. Let me get my phone. Uh, cause
Is it an audiobook?
you can get the audiobook. However, I'm not going to recommend the audiobook.
Really?
I have the audiobook and I just don't like the narration because it's set in New Orleans and they're trying to do the New Orleans accent, and I'm just
New
not a
Orleans
fan
don't
of it.
have an accent.
New Orleans has an accent. The way they talk.
Some of them do. It depends on what side. Now, if you're coming from, in the East, yes, you have an
Yeah.
accent. But my wife is from Metairie. She doesn't have an
What?
accent.
No accent?
No accent. Uh-uh.
See, when I
Now, if you're talking about somebody who lives, that's Creole and lives on the bayou or something like that, that's not New Orleans. That's on the bayou. I mean,
that's on the bayou.
yeah,
That's a
they
different
have that
culture.
that French twang,
Yeah.
thing going on. So, and I
Right.
love the way they sound. Oh my God, I love the way they sound. So, but
Huh.
Allie's Allie.
Yeah. I'm
I'll have
trying
to.
to, cause it's the hold on for a second. I got the book right here. And yeah, that's the first book.
Why is my pen not working?
Oh, nope, not that one. Oh, with the devil. Whoa, there it goes. Nope, not it. Not finding it.
I'm just gonna have to look it up.
Oh.
And when I found it, because I like doing audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
Because I work on the weekends, and I have to
Yeah.
drive almost 2 hours to work and almost 2 hours home. So I listen to,
My goodness.
audiobooks in between all that. And sometimes when I get to the office, I continue to listen.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's something to do. But yeah, the narration has to be
On
on
point.
point.
On
Yes.
point.
Yes.
So the
And if it's
first book
not,
for that, it's terrible. It just
yes.
ruins the whole thing. Uh,
Yes.
so The Devil Inside is the first book of that series.
Okay, I'm writing it in my notes on my phone. The Devil Inside.
Yes.
Okay. I will put
But
that on my list to read when I get done writing.
that's what I say. I'm gonna read this as soon as I finish writing.
Mm-hmm. That's what I tell everybody. I was talking to Ann Shade, and she was telling me about the book she has coming out in February. And I was like, girl, Harlem Renaissance,
Ooh.
historical lesbian romance. I said, you are, just take my money. I said, I'll be done. I will be in edits at that point,
Mm-hmm.
so I will be free to read. And I said, that will be the first book that I read because it just sounds fabulous. I was
Oh,
like, oh my goodness.
sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Accidents happen. So, but yeah, so I got a whole list. I might be reading quite a bit in the month of February. Get
Nice.
caught up. So, but yeah,
Right?
I got it down. Okay,
Wonderful.
so yeah, so I that's you taught me something. Dark romance.
Dark
Yeah.
romance.
Yes.
And my book Pool of Lies, because Pool of Lies, it is a romance.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not romance in the fluffy way. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what am I supposed to call this? Because it's not really that thriller either, or
Mm-hmm.
it's a little suspenseful, but so I'm like, what is this? But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I found dark romance. I was like, that's exactly what it is. uh,
And so, and actually, I was interviewing last week Jess Wilburn, who
mm-hmm,
was telling me about her book. Uh, it fits that genre.
mm-hmm.
She has like a bad girl, and a cop, so it's like the bad girl is like uh like high one of the higher ups in a gang,
Ooh,
like she's like the second in command.
yeah,
She's done like some heinous shit to get there because it's an all male
yeah,
biker gang.
uh-huh.
So I was like, that sounds interesting. I said I would read that because sometimes I'm okay with the fluff, and you need the fluff sometimes when
You
you
need
don't
the
feel
fluff.
like, yeah, just something surface that's not deep, and not changing lives or anything.
Exactly. But yeah,
Yeah.
because especially after last night's debate, you want to go find yourself a fluffy book and just.
Look, I didn't even watch it. I was on Twitter. I didn't have to watch it. All I
Oh
did was
yeah,
I was on Twitter. That's all I had to do. That's all I had to
I
do.
I didn't even go on Twitter. I ignored all social media. I watched Lovecraft Country. I played Sims 4. That
Mm-mm,
I didn't
mm-mm.
I didn't bother with it.
But yeah, so yeah, yeah. I didn't watch. I like afterwards. See, I watched CNN just to see what they were
Mm-hmm.
gonna
Yeah,
say, and
the highlights.
and all that stuff. And everybody was just like sitting there, like kind of shell shocked and like, "Whoa, that was a shit show." And I was like, "Whoa, it was that bad." I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't watch it." And it would be 90 minutes I couldn't get back.
No.
So, but. Oh, okay. So yeah, you write some stuff I really want to check out then. Definitely. Definitely. And when at the end I usually put up a nice graphic that has your books, and I mentioned, like, I'll put your Amazon page, where people can go and check it
Okay.
out if they want to.
Wonderful.
So yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So now let's get to the big thing.
Big thing.
Big thing. Big thing. You are trans and you're writing Lesfic. How
I
is that?
am.
Yeah. How is that? How, and as we discussed before I started recording, our community, even though we should be open to every aspect of queerness, we are not. We
Right.
are not.
We're not.
So, how has it been for you?
Oddly enough, because, you know, when I started writing fanfic, I didn't really put myself out there. I wasn't on Twitter. I
Mm-hmm.
was I was just
Mm-hmm.
putting out stories and I was doing my thing and,
Mm-hmm.
loving the validation from, everybody's reviews.
Yes.
But then I got on Twitter, people started talking to me, and then it just basically was like, yeah, so this is me. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let anybody know I was trans, but I'm the
Mm-hmm.
guy writing writing, lesbian fanfic or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But so having that, I think when I crossed over to actually, writing and publishing,
Mm-hmm.
it it gave me something because I haven't really ran into too much pushback really.
Really? That's good.
Yeah. I mean, good, yeah. I mean, fantastic, really, because I honestly don't know how to write anything else because I've been writing it so long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but um, but I do every time I put out a book or I start another piece of fiction where the main characters are two women. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, I hope I don't get vilified for this. I don't want somebody to come out of the crypt or whatever and be like, you
Yeah.
can't write this because you're a man,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
identify as a man. So, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, I want, and when I get into that mindset, I'm like, do I need to justify why I'm writing this type of fiction? And
No.
every time I do that, I'm like, why do I need to justify it? It
Mm,
makes no sense.
you don't. You don't. You don't. I mean, if straight women can write
Yes,
male,
yes. Can we?
which I,
Let's take a sec. Let's take a
Lord
pause
help
real
me, I
quick.
do not understand. I don't understand it. I don't
And
understand at all.
like, cause I'm a part of a fiction group on Facebook, and all of the gay fiction is written by women, and I'm just like, and you look at these women's pages, and you're like, yeah, I've got two kids, a wonderful husband who enjoys this. I'm like, ma'am, how did you get here? Like it's, I hate to use the word, but it's the fetishization of the gay community by straight women, gay
Yes.
males by straight
What
women
they
is
think it is and what
it
they think happens.
exactly. It's
So
rather astounding, and I mean, I don't want to be that type of person where I want to
mm-hmm.
say I can only read books written by someone who's from the community,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it makes me I do take pause because I'm just like, how can you relate to my struggles really as a queer person?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they take it at a surface level when being queer anything is really it's very nuanced.
Yes, it is. It is. I haven't read any of male fiction.
Me neither.
But but I've heard talk about how, some of the stuff written by straight women, is full with stereotypes, of what they think gay
hmm
men, how they behave, how they have sex, and
Yeah,
everything. So I'm just
yeah,
like, yeah. So, but it is what it is.
right.
It's a popular genre. I mean, yeah.
I didn't I didn't even know gay fiction, like gay male fiction existed
Mm-hmm.
because when I first discovered lesbian fiction existed, I was like, "What? Mind blown!"
Yeah, me
so,
too.
so,
Me too.
so
Yeah.
I was so to see that at least for that particular market is so full of straight women. I'm just like,
It's shocking. I mean, I know um I follow Melissa Braden, and I know she has every once in a while, she'll get an email or a message from somebody who is just so offended that she's bisexual and married to a man and has a kid. And I was like, that doesn't make her any less queer. It just
right.
doesn't. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, trans men are men, trans women are women. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that complicated. It's just not. Nobody's
No,
taking away anything from you.
no,
Just let it be. Just let it be.
exactly.
Yeah. So
But it's crazy.
yeah, so I'm glad you haven't had, a lot of pushback. That's a good thing. So
Yeah, and I mean, I've only had one comment on my book. Which book was it? I think it was Avery Lawson, where somebody was like, "Yeah, it- but it's written by a man." And I was like, "What does that? But how does that help my story, though? What about the story? I don't care about that. What about the story?"
I mean, because like you said, they don't know the process or what's behind it. They don't know any
Hmm.
of that. It's
Right.
just all surface stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
so and it's just unfortunate. I mean, because there's some really shitty readers who leave some really shitty comments sometimes.
Oh, oh yeah.
So
I'll go out there. I'll read other people's reviews, like other writers that I know, and I'll read the
mm,
reviews on their books. I'm just like, first of all, this is not constructive criticism. Second of all, if you didn't like the book,
mm,
if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing at all. But
just
if you
two
feel like
star it or and
ex-
go on about your
and
way.
go about
Yeah.
your day. However, if you feel like you have a point to make, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to stifle anybody's
Mm-hmm.
shine, be somewhat professional about it, I guess.
Yes. Yes. I remember my first book, Blurred Lines and Crossing Lines, is from a huge fanfic story,
Mm,
Brazilian Isles, that I had written years ago. I mean, I completely rewrote it. I mean,
mm-hmm.
completely rewrote it. It looked nothing like um, the blurred lines that was on my website.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that original story down because my publisher asked me to. And I didn't have
Right.
a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it. I was like, I'm getting published, they can read the refined, whatever.
Yeah.
And people were so angry at me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many emails I got. Why did you take this down? Blah 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 blah. Can I have the original? I'm like, I don't have the original story anymore. You
Ooh.
know, um, it was dismantled to make this. I didn't keep the
Yeah.
original document. I didn't see a need to. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my baby transformed into another baby. I mean, that's the
Exactly.
way I
It
looked at
grew.
it. So
It evolved like a Pokemon.
yes, yes, yes. So, and I remember one of the reviews, and I guess it's still up there. I'll have to go look one of these days for Blurred Lines. And I know this is and I know who it was. I know who it was who left it. And because she had emailed me, like, I think maybe the day before to ask about it. And so she went on Amazon and said, "This is nothing but fanfic." And I'm like she was telling on me or something. And I'm like, everybody knows it was fanfic. I was fairly popular in the Rizzles fandom. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't. I mean, the bulk of my readers who bought my first two books were
Mm-hmm.
a crossover from my fans from my
Yep.
fanfic. I still have fans from my fanfic who buy my work.
Big up to
So
the ride or dies.
yes, thank you
Big
to
up
all
to the
of you
ride or
who do
dies.
that. Bless you, thank you. So, but she just thought she was telling on me, and like it's just fanfic that's been, I was just like, okay.
And your point is?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and then I'm doing the marketing thing. I'm doing these
Yeah,
chats and everything. And I told everybody, this is loosely based on a fanfic that I wrote. So it wasn't news. I mean, it's something I led with. I mean,
right.
I was a fanfic writer, who got discovered. I actually had a publisher, you know, sneak into my DMs and ask me
Uh-huh.
if I wanted to get published, and I thought all that
Exactly.
shit was fake. And I was like, are you pulling my leg? And it turns out that she wasn't.
Doing a
Thank you,
Google
Astrid,
search
by the
for
way.
you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I lucked out. I never
Hmm.
thought after that first book I wrote, back in 2008 or whatever, I was just like, that
Yeah.
process was just so,
It
ugh,
is. It's a daunting process, and
it
like
is.
as and self publishing itself it's a daunting process, and the fact that you have to kick yourself in the ass to get it done, kudos to anybody who does it.
Yes, I started to do it, but once I talked to a couple of people who sell, and I was like, oh, that's too much. That's too
Hmm.
much. I don't have the money to get an editor. I don't have the I don't want to spend the money for paperbacks and hiring a
Hmm.
graphic artist. I was like, no, no.
Ooh.
No, I was like, I don't want to have to do all that. That's money down the hole that I'll never get to fill up. So
Yeah,
like,
right. Well, yeah.
I'll stick with having a publishing house do everything for me. I mean, thankfully, after I feel like in the Lesfic market, once you have a few books under your belt and they're successful, you can negotiate your contract.
Mm.
You can negotiate, shoot, I know I did. So yes, so for all you last writers that are coming up, you sell well, you got a couple of books under you, you can haggle. You can haggle. I'm just letting you
Get that
know.
money.
You can haggle.
Get that
Yes.
money.
Yes, you can haggle. If they want to keep you, they they will do what they need to do.
Exactly.
So yeah. So okay. Well, this has been enlightening and fun.
I know, right?
So yeah.
Surprising.
So how far are you in the book you're working on?
I actually stopped editing it because it's the second book to my Avery Lawson series.
Uh-huh.
I stopped editing it. I had to take a step back from it because it was
Mm,
blowing my mind.
uh-huh.
That's blowing my mind. But doing so, it has allowed me to work on my episodic series,
Uh-huh.
Adventures of Swift, which
Uh-huh.
is a superhero story with magical elements. But the magical
Ooh.
elements that doesn't happen until the next season, I guess. Yeah, we're going with seasons. Yeah, next season.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. And Patreon is
yeah,
that the where
Patreon.
you get paid for something? Is that how that works?
That's one of those sites where people like you get a page and
Mm-hmm.
you produce content
Mm-hmm.
for people to subscribe to. So right now, my page, you can subscribe for any amount, and you get access to whatever is out there. Right now, nothing is out there because everything was at a standstill.
Mm.
But once I get posting, the rest of Adventures of Swift is going to be available to my patrons. First chapter is
Okay.
available to everybody. Everything else you got to subscribe for.
Okay.
Um, so I've got plans to put that out there. I've got another story I want to put out there too, but it's just something to do. It's just something
Okay.
to do.
That actually sounds like fun. I mean, if I was able, I'm not able to work on more than one thing at a time.
Hmm.
I'm just not. I mean, I have a thing where, sometimes when I'm writing a book, I get the idea for the next book,
Right.
and I may scribble down that idea,
That
to
idea.
see if something's going to come from it. but I'm not able to like, oh, let me start on this one and then I'll come back to this. I think I get so into my characters,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to hit those breaks and say, okay, now let me go do this.
Yeah,
It's almost impossible for me to do that. I mean, and at the end of a book, saying goodbye to those characters is just
it's
so
hard. It's really
hard. It
hard
is
because
hard. Yes, it is. And it's just like, oh, now is there gonna be a sequel? Like, no, there's not gonna be a sequel. I like
I
to be
know.
realistic. I mean, to me, once you wrap a story up,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I don't always tie every, loose
All
end
the
up.
loose ends. Yeah.
I never do. I mean, but so it is what it is. It's you get the HEA, which is what
You
everybody
get your
wants.
happy ever after.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
you need, damn it. Leave me
Yes,
alone.
exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. So, but yeah, so I admire somebody who can like,
well,
have all their fingers in all those pies. So.
it's a double-edged sword, really, because what I do is like I'll catch an idea. That idea while I'm working is still
Hmm.
forming. It keeps forming. So then I have
Hmm.
to write it down before I lose it. Next thing I know, I'm making this loose outline of things. Like the other day, I was editing Murderous Profession, like the physical copy of it, so I can get ready to make books.
Hmm.
Um, and then I got this idea. I was jotting it down, and this idea just kind of grew, and I was like, "Crap."
Yep.
so, so
Yeah. Hmm.
I'll catch an idea, I'll write it out, see what happens with it, but I probably won't start writing the story for probably a while until I finish whatever I'm currently doing.
Uh, yeah. I see. I'm lucky. I mean, I don't outline. I don't do any of that stuff.
I didn't used to
Somehow
outline.
I can't. It's too much work. It's too much work.
My thing is I lose my thought process. So like I'll lose where I'm going. So I'll
Hmm.
be like, well, crap, where and then it goes up somewhere else. So I'm just like, well, crap. But so now I outline.
I, it's just like I feel like I've written a book already if I outline. And
Hmm.
it's like starting it all over again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
somehow I'm able to keep track of everything up here. I don't know how it happens. I don't know. Don't
Because you only do it one at a time, which is a
that
smart
may be
thing.
that may
But
be what it is. I mean, it's just like, you know, and to be honest, when I start a book, I don't know what the ending's gonna be. I don't even
hmm
know what the middle's gonna be. You know, I don't. I mean, it fixes itself as I'm writing.
hmm
You
yeah,
know, and it took me a minute. I'm 20,000 words into my current book, and and I was just like, okay, now I see where this is going.
I see the light at
I
the
see
tunnel.
it. I see what's going to happen. I see it. So I know now.
hmm
I didn't earlier, but if it doesn't come, then I wasn't supposed to write that book and it needs to be set aside. So, but
hmm
if it comes, I know I need to stick with it, you know, and help it come to fruition, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, but yeah, I got everything, with this book. I always get writer's block the last third, always, every time. It never fails. I'm hoping though, under the circumstances, maybe I can power through this time, and just
Maybe
yeah.
you'll have like a moment of clarity and just zoom through it. And
I
next thing you
hope
know, you're like,
so.
crap, this is done.
I hope so. I hope so, because I can see clearly, what's going to happen. I can see the conflict.
hmm
Um, these women are mature. I hate that whole conflict that consists of them just not talking.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't like that conflict. I mean,
that's
it's
silly.
juvenile. It's juvenile. So, but these are mature women, and they're gonna talk. So
They're gonna have a conversation.
they're gonna have a
They're
conversation.
gonna
This
have some
this
big
is happening.
conversations.
I need to know why. And all this stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, so that part of the conflict. But it's a book that's not gonna have a breakup. It's not gonna fit that romance formula.
Oh.
At all. It's not gonna be a breakup. It's about a coming together.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. This is about them coming together. It's
Well, that's
not
what.
going to be some stupid thing that breaks them up, and
And then they got to come back from it.
yes, it's not nothing like that's going to happen. It's going to be they're kind of in between. They're kind of enemies, fuck buddies right now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. So it's like, they're right there,
Hmm.
and they're like on the cusp of, one of them is questioning, everybody likes me. I can't believe, why doesn't she like me? I mean, I'm not a bad person type thing, So
I'm
it's
not a
just like,
terrible person.
yeah, it's just, they're questioning why, okay, it was just sex. So why am I letting this
Mm,
linger and letting this affect me, or
right.
whatever. So they're at that stage, So
It's a good stage.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it is what it is. So but there's not gonna be a breakup. They're gonna have a rocky road for a minute, and then they're gonna come together,
And
and
then
it's
mesh
just is
well,
what it
mesh
is.
together.
Yeah, this is what it is. Yeah. So
Well, there you
all
go.
right. All right. Well, it's been a
Cool.
lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It's yeah, definitely.
Yes, yes. You're gonna have to come back at some point. I'm just letting you know you're gonna have to come back.
And
Um,
I will gladly accept the invitation.
yes,
Hopefully, I'll have another book out.
we'll have to find a hot sauce that's a little bit hotter for you. Just a little bit.
Tabasco, Tabasco.
Tabasco is not, although they do have different flavors of Tabasco.
They do.
They have a scorpion pepper, this Tabasco.
Huh.
Yes. I've been wanting to try
Uh.
that. It's on my hot sauce list. I've been wanting to try that. But
Well,
we'll
there you
see.
go.
We'll see. I'm not gonna make you do scorpion peppers because they're really hot.
Thank you.
Really hot.
Thank
They're
you.
hotter than the habaneros. So yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But
With the
we'll,
name
we'll
Scorpion, they
find
better be.
something that's a step up from the pineapple, from the mango habanero.
All right. All right. I'll
Okay.
do that.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining
Thank
me. I
you.
really appreciate it. It's been
No
enlightening.
problem.
It's been fun, and
Yes.
good luck to you and your
Thank you.
book you're working on, and your episodic adventures of
The Adventures of Swift.
Adventures of Swift. If you want to shoot on Twitter messages, shoot me the information, and I'll put it
Hmm.
on the YouTube channel for you.
Oh,
So
thank
if
you. I
people want
will.
to subscribe or anything, they can
Yeah.
do that. So just
All
give
right.
it to me, and we can do it that way. I'm always happy to help another
Oh,
author.
thank you. Thank you.
So 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 everybody, this has been another episode of Girl on Fire. I'll be back with you on Sunday. So you're gonna see a lot of me for a while. I have quite a few people coming in. So be prepared is all I can say. It's gonna be fun. Okay, I'll see you guys on Sunday.